Well, it's Monday. Can you imagine? We all know what Monday this is, don't we? Welcome to the Neutral Zone. Aloha. Good morning, everyone. This is Jason Schwartz, your host here at the Neutral Zone. If it's 11 o'clock on Monday in Hawaii, I hope you'll always be tuning in here. And we have a new person in our lineup at 3 p.m. today, Dr. Valerie Simonsen. You know more. Is that the name of the show?
Well, actually, it's called The Nature of Your Nature.
Oh, The Nature of Your Nature.
And then the subtitle is Come Home to You No More. Because we're being sponsored by our nonprofit, You No More.
Oh, I
and
got
So that's how we're doing this thing.
I see. Okay. And I'm Maui Coast Property sponsoring me. Again, you know what's so amazing? That great minds think alike. Like 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. There's a new broadcasting group, Akamai Group, and they have the Talk of Maui. I love that station. It used to be KAOI, but it's the strong signal on the island. So it dominates now. I'm watching the country music market. But the guy that's the night person named Rowdy Yates, wasn't that Clint Eastwood when Rawhide was on years ago? I thought, oh boy, packaged music from the mainland, taken away from stuff. Anyway, we're 88.5 FM on the radio. We're MauiNeutralZone.com. We're at Maui Stream. You can go on your phone with an app and get Akaku, all their TV stations and the radio stations. You'll find Valerie's new show. You mind I call you Valerie? Is that
That's
okay?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can call me Jason.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Because you are really a doctor, and you've been a great doctor.
Well, thank you.
A long time.
A long time.
I say that because I was there doing my thing.
Yeah.
But over the years, it's like a rope and a web. But you, I don't want to say strayed. I'll say grown. I didn't know that you had, what do we call it, life-changing experiences where you pierced the veil. Is that a gentle way of saying?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of set up your whole reason and experience and growth path,
Wow, yeah, that brings up butterflies in my belly as you acknowledge that, yeah.
Well, when I knew you, you were a naturopathic doctor and I was, I got here in 88. I came from L.A.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know when you came, but you seem to always be on the scene for me. You were around?
That's for sure. Yeah, Harriet Witt told me one time, she's like a golden retriever. You just want to know everybody, and you want to get to know people, and you want to know what's happening. And I do. I do enjoy keeping my finger on the pulse of the community and thus the world.
Golden retriever? You had golden locks? You were
Yeah, for sure I did, didn't I?
You were a golden receiver and retriever. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, thanks.
So, is there such a thing as a nutshell? Tell me about your show. What is going to be here starting this afternoon, you guys? So I just want to give you a send-off. So as this day begins, maybe we can get some more momentum so that people can hear you as your broadcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, we're on our second show.
Oh.
Yeah, Harriet Witt, the astronomer. We all know Harriet. She was our first guest. And I'll tell you, she laid the foundation for the nature of your nature. Because of her experience with nature as an astronomer, also a farmer, she was able to bring that together and use the language that we could connect with. And then the you know more part, her and I have been walking around, going for walks for a couple years now, and we're talking about this. What is this you know more thing? Now, I had a clear understanding, but she was able to put it into another way of saying it the other day, is that you know more doesn't mean that you're looking for a grade. It's just that you're not trying to pass a test. You don't know more than somebody else, but you know what you know. And it's inside. It's innate intelligence. And that is what I have seen over the years. even before I became a naturopath, I was an EMT, and we kept on seeing people coming in, same conditions, same car accident, same alcohol and drugs use, but we weren't taking care of the underlying issue. So that's really one reason I became a naturopath, because we really look at the root, right? But even as the root, we examine that, I still was seeing this disconnection of earth and humans. They say, oh, you know what, let's not use pesticides, and then they're using Roundup. And where is that disconnection, right? And so with the gift of COVID, everybody kind of had to go inside, right? And we started really thinking about, what is it that I really want in life? And that's where I already had the concept of You Know More after serving someone in Bali that had zero chance of recovering from this condition, and in a short period of time was up functioning. And what I know to be true from that experience is that she had that innate wisdom. There was a sparkle in her eyes, just like yours are sparkling right now. There's something there. And I was able to connect with that and believe in her, right? And then she miraculously walked and talked and all of this kind of stuff. But then when COVID, I had 5 peers commit suicide, took their own life. That's the proper way of saying it nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's when I decided to take You Know More into a nonprofit. The nonprofit is dedicated to healthcare providers, first responders, educators, and community leaders. And we were actually launching our program on 8/8/23 with international retreats, very exotic and very based in nature and working with native healers all over the world. But 8/8/23, I was on the front lines. Everything else stopped, right? But the essence of this is the nature of your nature. Your DNA is 65% the same as a banana tree, right? And when we can really honor that we are, the earth is supporting us, the earth is here for us, but we have to take the effort. We have to do the quote.
35.
Yeah, there you go.
We have to, what I want to say, identify as something other than a banana.
Right.
And we have many, many more percentage alike, but that essence of difference is that innate You Know More. Is that
right. Right. And that wisdom isn't in your brain. It's in the mind. And that's what Jessica Brazil is going to help us flush out today is, what is the mind? You know, what is this thing? We can't touch it. We can touch the brain, though. And the brain does carry stories and pathways and patterns and all of that. And we can shift that. Your body is able to do miraculous things, right? The liver is the one organ that, besides the skin, that can heal so quickly and regenerate. That's the word. Thank you. Yeah. So as we return to ourselves, and then this fire out here on Maui, you know, it really cracked us open. And there's all kinds of things happening within everybody I know that it's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go a different way. So people are leaving their positions in how they make a living and starting new businesses and new nonprofits, and they're standing. They're standing in a really good way. Not only standing, but they're acting in a really good way that's in alignment with their soul's evolution.
As we're talking all these things, I'm thinking, well, here we are in a really good way, and yet larger than Maui, the world is doing a dance that is other than that, let's say. They know You Know More, who is the collective you that's creating that. Sort of us, kind of, but maybe through non-attention or maybe sort of like a group thing. How do you play that one?
I love you asked that question, because I think or it's my experience in life, is that everything that is happening on the planet is here to help me heal. And if something really makes me angry, disturbs me, I know that's my issue. So we use labels to say, oh, that's this disease or that's this behavior or whatever. But I always go back to, I can point my finger at you, but I got 3 of those babies coming back at me. So I need to fix it inside of myself. Ho'oponopono, right? Fix it inside, fixes it on the outside.
And you work with people personally, whereas conceptually is a different animal that we have less ability to affect, I guess, an outcome. And I guess we're all attached to some kind of a big outcome here. The world, to stay balanced and be working and doing what you've done after, who could have had an 8/8/23 except here it is. And
yeah, Maui did it. Woo! I was at Lionsgate, right? Burst us open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know what Lionsgate is, right? Astrologers probably have heard of it, and that is quite a big thing, but I'll let you look it up. You could explain it if you want. Do you explain that stuff, or you kind of let people...
I think it's a good thing to look it up, but also when we say Lionsgate, I just think go to gates. Gates open up. And we know that there's more to this universe than just us. And energetically, especially here on Maui, I mean, everywhere I knew, there was some kind of a ceremony going on to go through the gate, right? And boy, did we go through the gate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there was a lot of loss. And just like COVID, there was a lot of loss. But in that, there's an awakening. And we've just went through Easter, which is the rebirthing, right? Which is so beautiful timing that, okay, let's really show up and be in a good way. So if it's pissing you off, pardon my
I've heard it before.
Oh, my goodness.
Once.
In
a fairy tale.
Great. Then Tony doesn't have to take that out. If something's really bothering you, that's because we got to fix it inside, right? And when we can find the peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace. And Harriet Witt talked about quorum sensing. And it's a new concept in biology where this bacteria, she studied it, one bacteria can create an influence of thousands, millions of other bacteria just with thought. And bacteria don't have a brain. And so I've been really nesting into the concept of a quorum sensing as we as humans are coming together. What do I want? Do I want to infect hatred, or do I want to
So the world is doing its thing to allow us to be able to do our thing.
It is.
Isn't it?
It is. And inside your body, you have one stem cell. One stem cell. When your mom and dad
did
their thing. Woohoo! Right? And then the stem cells, we need bones. We need blood. We need this. Well, that's what we get to do in our lives. We get to direct the energies. This is what I want. If I want peace on earth, I better be peace on earth.
Well, that's really the stem cell in a whole new understanding of something that isn't even a physical. It's something amorphous that we shape by who and what we give value to in our values. And I'm sure that how the mind works and how everything is, I guess you know more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in another country when that epiphany came, you know more. But I've had it on my truck, and during COVID, I actually got locked down in on the mainland. So I had it painted on the windows, "You Know More." And I remember being in one state, and they were like, "I don't get this "You Know More" thing." And I can't really explain it other than "You know more." Just like Nike said, just do it,
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing. You
You know more.
no more. And then I capitalized out of the no, capitalized NOW, now. You now more, because you know more, right?
And my other piece in different words, vision plus action equals move something. You can know it, but the now, that it isn't an urgency. It's an understanding. That is the power.
It is.
Is seeing that you know more, and you now have the power to put it into action in our world. And what you do is an example to all those that have appreciated who you are all these years. And every time you interplay and interface with someone, you're creating a new seed, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah. You probably helped, I want to say, thousands of people. I don't know what it was like there on the west side. We over here, I know me and Ariel didn't go over there only because we didn't really know what our roles would be. And I kept doing my shows from this side and bringing on people about all kinds of things. But they didn't want to leave that side. They were very committed. The people that I tried to get over here that didn't come, like KAKU, he was committed to the people on that side and was rooted there. His wife, And to me, you were immersed in this experience. Emergency medicine and has so many different. I've still seen people that are not what's the word? Could really use some more help in all kinds of ways. How are you seeing? Are things better than they were?
I just went over there the other day, and I went as an observer.
Yeah.
Totally just an observer. And there's a lot of building going on. And what I love about it, though, is there's a lot of movement going on underground. And I love underground. I like it when I can sense that somebody really is onto something amazing here. And the Kanakas are doing some good stuff. They're the ones that I know that they're quiet about it. They're not out there waving signs. They're actually making the change. And I love seeing that.
In what ways? Housing and schools and the way they treat each other?
Everything. And it we've all kind of nestled down into, or this is my experience, we nestled down into, why are we here? Why are we here? And I remember stepping into Honokowai Park, looking at thousands and thousands of people that were survivors and hundreds of healthcare providers. And I remember saying, I will clean up my family lineage karma. Every one of these people are here to help me heal whatever is unhealed in my family. And it was an amazing experience because all of these people that were there serving, 90% of us, we never even had to communicate. You just knew. You just knew what needed to be. And we had a circuit. I could do this. He could do that. She would do this. And we would just kind of put people on a conveying,
Right, a conveyor belt of practitioners.
Yeah, it was incredible. And it was consistent. Someone grabbed me one day from the state or something. They said, we want you to go over someplace else. I said, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm staying at Honokowai Park. They need consistency. I've done crisis relief work for 45 years. I know what it takes. They need to see somebody is there, not just somebody
Passing
new.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To gain their trust.
You were there right after, so John Kinamaka and all the guys in the park there. He was here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
People, I guess you'd say, John, I like him as an example. He was and has been a warrior for the Hawaiian movement, strong wants independence, and yet when 8/8 happened, people come up from what and who they are.
Yeah.
Great leaders. You know, there is no anything other than this healing that was happening. Greatness.
I get chicken skin as you're talking about it, because somebody said to me the other day, well, you know, so-and-so was over at the park. Do you remember them? And I said, I remember them. And they said, do you know them or something like that? I said, I don't. And I actually just had lunch with a man that I worked with for months, and still am working with him as we're still navigating the waters. And we were all so traumatized as well as first responders, doctors, nurses,
I'm sure.
all the acupuncturists. The people arrived in boats, you know, to bring in supplies, all of that. And it's really exciting for me personally, is because now I'm getting to know these people. Yeah. And I'm getting to watch them go through what I'm going through, is this evolution of my soul. You know, like I had one person say, you know, all I want to do is get back to my clinic and be able to do XYZ that I've done for 30 years. Well, that's not what they're doing. They're out on the front, and they're changing laws, and they're doing things that they never even thought they would be doing. Yeah. Right? It's so cool to watch. And we're all doing that at our homes, too. That's not just necessarily over in Lahaina or the west side, but it's in all of our lives right now. We're all it's the fire is coming in. You know, when I'm from Montana, and in 1987, Yellowstone Park burned down. Or not all of it, but they let it burn. And I used to go in there. That was my safety heaven. There was in these trees on. Anyway, after the fires, I went in. I couldn't find my spot. It was gone, completely burned down. And then the next time I went, I saw a little green coming out of the ground, and I'm like, wow, I wonder what that is. So I was taking anthropology at the university at that time, and I was telling the professor, I said, there's a plant. I don't know that plant. It's a different plant that used to grow there. So we went in there, and sure enough, that heat from the fires exploded the seeds that were deep, 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 deep in the earth. And these ancient plants came out of the earth, and there's a new forest there of ancient plants.
Wow.
Going back to your DNA is the same as or 65% the same as a banana. We're all, it's been cracked open, the seeds are growing, and this is coming out of our being.
That's wonderful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Wow, that makes the universe perfect.
It is.
Isn't that my mom's favorite word? Everything's perfect. Yeah. But that is really great. That's the reason things are happening. And how we respond, hey, that's up to us.
It is.
We're in creation. So the more good that we have inside that we want to share, now's a good time. And you see someone to help, what a great thing. Uplift your spirits. Right. I'm so thankful for all that hard work you did and
Thank
doing.
you.
I mean, you're still carrying on with that work, and now with your show.
Yeah, we'll reach more people now. We've been trying to get grants, and we've been denied for the nonprofit because our target market has not been recognized to be that important. Now things have changed because now the doctors and first responders, there's major crises, right? But in the beginning, they were like, no, we need to do elsewhere, which really fired me up. So I just started knocking on doors and getting private donations. And we've been able to serve nearly 1,900 people.
Wow, that's super duper.
First responders,
yeah,
healthcare providers, educators, and community leaders. Now think about just one teacher.
Self-identified?
And yeah.
The people that you've been serving are the ones that sort of come to you, or you?
Yeah, they do, and I
thing?
know a lot of people, you know.
I see.
So,
Okay.
you know, they come, and but back up just a second. Think of one teacher, how many people they touch, right? I mean, they're seeing 100 people a day, right?
Probably so.
And a doctor's office, how many people do they see? So we're doing it we're doing it in the ripple effect. Take care of these people that are taking care of everybody else. Now our whole beginning was helping the helpers. Now that's now a common theme. There's a lot of things you'll see out there helping the helpers, which is great. And that's the ripple effect, and that's what we're doing. Yeah.
That's super. And do you have Jessica coming today?
Jessica Brazil. Yeah.
Now she's on your board. Give us a preview. You guys, 3 o'clock, all you have to do is dial in 88.5 FM. You remember, or you can go to Maui Stream and catch it on your phone, or you'll be able to go all kinds of places and find it, akaku.org. Meanwhile, we're happy to have you with us here now. We are on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, serving Maui since 1992.
Wow.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
I discovered that today and thought I rediscovered it.
Wow.
I was in the first class teaching. I remember that. Don Couch, who was on our council.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And all those guys,
Yeah.
they were the teachers then. A lot of years on Maui. We've seen a lot of changes, a lot staying the same.
Yeah.
The naturopathic doctors and the alternative, there is no alternative, professionals that serve all the people have really been given so much more audience than when I first got here. I remember I left the mainland and thought that things here would already be awake and aware, but I guess the medical people were still not approving this and not. How is it these days? Are things getting more approved by insurance companies? Are they recognizing some of the...
Yeah, they do. They do. You know, we've got functional medicine doctors, and we have quite a few what we call integrative medicine doctors, especially the older ones that were tired of watching things happen. They embrace that. I used to do CME and was on the board at the hospital when it was...
CME means?
Continuing medical education.
Oh, okay.
And when my first class that I taught there was to introduce naturopathic medicine. And...
Great.
Yeah, and the person that helped make that happen, he said, well, I came to the meeting because I didn't think anybody'd show up. Well, it was a full house. We had to move into another part of the hospital to do the class because there were so many doctors interested.
Isn't that exciting?
Right? It's so interesting. It's so exciting. And I was just in one of the doctor's offices the other day, and they have their pharmacy there with their supplements, and you know, some of them are doing acupuncture. I mean, it's really beautiful to see the changes.
Integrative medicine. Is that the label?
Yeah,
Great.
that's what they call it now, and they probably have another new word because I'm always behind on catching phrases and
No,
things
but it
like
makes
that.
it's good sense, integrating the best of all worlds.
Well,
right?
you know, if I could get a little personal with you.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know, you had your surgery, and by the way, it looks great.
Dr. Ryan Leary at Kaiser, thank you so much. When he said you were going to get a facelift, I used to have a spot up here and was growing. I looked like Gorbachev to me. I laughed. It was my Gorbachev. And then they said, oh, you have this spot of cancer. Does it look okay?
Oh, my God,
Really?
it looks great.
It's only a little while ago. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
to hear.
did they take something off your butt to put up there? Or
No,
is
he
that
just
on
moved things around.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking I was going to be butthead, or I wasn't sure what I'd be.
I think that's what you told me. They were going to take a little piece off your butt and put it on your forehead. Well, it looks great. But I also want to say that that day I saw you, that's a while ago, you were using your kind of medicine that you knew would work, not necessarily what somebody told you to do. And I'm looking right now at this, and my word, that is healed beautifully.
Isn't that something?
You know more, you have your education, and you know what to go to. And everybody has that, that, or not, maybe not everybody, but this seems to work. This seems to work, and it's the one you keep in your back pocket, right?
Do you get patients after they've been, I don't know if that's the way it happens, but people get fed up with doctors that aren't open to their ways of thinking. How does that work?
Yeah, that, and I get to be with people that have frustration because they're not being heard. They're and oftentimes, I'm going to use the big C, a skin condition or something like that they've tried everything the other kind of medicine was doing, but now they're like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. But I am seeing a shift in the last couple of weeks. I don't know how many new patients I have that there's, what, I'm not going to wait. I want to put it all together. And it's so exciting because as the doctor, like the other day, and a patient, one of them, they were told there was absolutely no chance of recovery. No chance of recovery. We did integrative, doing all this natural, a lot of therapy. I love this psycho-spiritual aspect of healing. And I got a text the other day, and they said, this is my 100th wave I've caught at the beach today. They were stage 4, no chance of recovery, right? And they're still surfing. Or they had to stop for a little bit. But.
No, but I mean, that is so. I hope that all of you out there who realize that means you. That means you. That means me. That means we all have this innate. It is who we are, yeah? Mm-hmm. What a beautiful thing. I'm so glad your show's coming on the air. I'm going to try to listen most of the time as I best can.
Yeah,
Mondays at 3.
Mondays at 3. It'll be live, and then we finally, today, I was finally able to get the YouTube thing all hooked up. Thanks for your help with that, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we'll be promoting all of that so that this information can go out to people.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I sit you here and I think about our world, and you're a very gentle spirit, and I never really knew much about Montana. Then my brother moved to Wyoming, a blink from Yellowstone. Uh-huh. And I have a friend who's one of the technologies I like to talk about, Regenitech, up in, where is he? Oh my goodness, Whitefish area.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They take green waste and they.
Oh, I know him.
You know that whole process.
I know him.
Guy. Do you?
Yeah.
You know him from up there, or you know him from here?
I know him from up there. He had a plant there at Columbia Falls, just right outside of Whitefish.
The one that burned.
The one that burned. Yeah.
And then they made that movie about him, right?
Yep.
And the other guys.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. But
Michael Smith?
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I told him we did another interview, but since the last time of our interview, when we had him here, the county gave us, I think it was 50, not us, them, 50 grand in a limited study, 3,000% increase in the microbiome in the soil in 3 months with minimal attending to this whole. So the potential of great supplements that are created out of our waste and all that, just up there. They're now doing tours, Regenitech. They've got the Regenesis product out and little growing boxes and all kinds of stuff.
That's so cool.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
His wife is an occupant. You know Diane, probably.
I do.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
See this
small
good small world.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
And so committed to what they're doing.
Yeah.
I want to do one of those or more here. I want to be the first one, but they're at home. So their mama also. They're the Montana Arts and Music Association when we get around to it, because we're Maui Arts and Music. And I expect to see some clones, just like more, suddenly little beacons of light all around the line, people aligned in positive action. Mama and Papa, how is that?
Right.
We can help each other in a new way, We're all connected if we just move it a little, we just switch things a little bit.
That's the quorum sensing that Harriet was talking about. But we have to take action. So the other day, someone sent me something about this community in India that is 100% pesticide-free, all organic. And I went, wow, that's amazing. I'd love to see it. But then I put it out. Who's doing that on Maui? I want to know, and I want to go there.
Did you find any?
Not yet. But Samoa contacted me. They got an island there that they're doing that. And I'm like, okay, let's bring it more on, you know?
Do you know Phyllis Robinson?
I don't.
Phyllis Robinson was teaching the new farmers program here. Was for the Farmers Union and then doing it independent. I don't know, but she could probably help you find those answers. I'll give you her number.
Thank you. Yeah.
She's been a guest on our show, but for sure.
Yeah, I applied for a scholarship with the Farmers something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Where you
Farmers Alliance.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. And I didn't get it, and I understand because, well, they said they don't go on age, which I appreciate that. But also, these young people are doing and creating a system. What I wanted to do was to be with the plants and be able to document the communication with the plants and how that would heal people. And, that's still going to happen in its time.
And it might happen with some of the farmers that are there that have things and can make space available.
And the most important thing that I find right now is make wise choices. If you're going to complain about Monsanto, then don't buy Roundup, right?
Right.
And don't use Roundup. And look at the other ways of gardening and taking care of your property. There's a lot of things that we can do that we don't have to be using those chemicals because the chemicals go into the ground and go into the groundwater, and we can't really pull those out.
I hope that you heard what she just said. When you say we can't pull them out, we can pull them out synthetically and appear like zero, but this damage that we're doing isn't easily reversible. And as a society, and we're working on pulling them out at this level, which is important, I get. But I'm hoping that that our conversation can get out and be a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Because, we're lucky. We're the most remote land masses in the world. Mm-hmm. Isn't that something? So here in Maui, when I realized just how fortunate we are, we have an environment that we can be self-sustainable.
Oh, we could.
Right here. And that's, MauiCoastProperty.com. That's me working for broker real estate. But I brought it up, my LLC, Regenerate Maui LLC. Because we're all on the same wheel. Many of us are on the same thing. As we link up and our brands, see, I keep thinking that what I'm trying to do is be a central place, to be the place where where every one of these art, the healing art.
Yes.
Art is visual art, healing arts,
right.
Music, culture, environment. Acme, I gave a new name, not so new, but all this to showcase to the world. We can bring thing and support and revenue and in and out with information and bringing all this to the whole world and have them bring what we need here all through a little bit. What a quorum. Let me hear it again.
Quorum sensing.
Quorum. That means getting enough of a group together to understand that's the way to go.
And sensing isn't thinking. It's sensing. There's not a brain. It's the mind. It's the consciousness. It's the, I don't know what we want to call it, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it is happening. The other day I said, I want a rocking chair. Now, I live in a tiny house. I really don't have room for a rocking chair. And I walked into this situation the other day, and this guy's carrying a rocking chair out. And he said, do you need a rocking chair? That quick, right? That's Maui for you, right?
Ariel had that happen with a piano.
Oh, wow.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just incredible.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was extraordinary. We just have to notice it. It's all around us.
You know, Papa Ka'alakeu is a great kahuna here. You probably knew him. And
Papa
right.
Kavika.
Yeah. He said one time, I said something about synchronicity, and he says, there's no such thing as synchronicity. He says, it's the right thing that's supposed to happen. Pay attention.
He's
right?
a great man. We've had some great teachers, haven't we?
We have been so fortunate.
We've been blessed here in Maui. All you people in Maui, you know, I've now been here, gosh, I can't even almost believe. I'm 74 this month, 74. 37 years ago, I came to Maui at 37.
Wow.
So more than half my life, and every day a little bit more. This has been a great home and a great teacher, and I can't really see myself. I might come back to Montana and call it home, but I don't know about New York City and L.A. and where I spent so much time.
Yeah.
I love by the way, New York is a terrific place. I've always loved New York.
You know, I went into New York after 9/11.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, to offer care. And I had never been to New York.
Oh.
But I had been programmed that it was really a terrible place and you have to watch yourself and all of this stuff. And I arrived there and started working there. They were the kindest people. And they took care of one another. These little neighborhoods were all taking care of one another. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Well, that's nice to hear. You know, I haven't heard a virgin opinion in a while. People that go to New York as adults and are able to really get a feeling that New York was a great place. You know, people think we're too quick, get to the point, right on target. I think easy, you know, there is no veil, just straight. I always found it really refreshing, but some people find it very affronting. But
Well, I think when you say that, we got to look at ourselves. I know when I'm not in a good space, that's what I tend to attract. So if I'm tired, then that's the people that I'm around. You know, it's that vibration, right? And so it's my responsibility, eat properly, get the rest I need, get exercise, get moving. I don't like the word exercise. Move that body, right? And then have a spiritual practice of some kind. And keep aligned. Keep aligned. And do what's right. And as I was with a man the other day, and he says, we can do better. And I like that, because I can. We all can. We can do better. Take personal responsibility. Be accountable, right?
Well, you know, I find, I'm happy to say, I find it in myself. Came back from the gym this morning, you know, it's like going to the gym a few times a week after a hip surgery. And
oh, wow.
And meaning these things that used to be a major thing to have hip surgery. Now it seems commonplace. 4 a week, 6 a day, you know, in and out, like In-N-Out Burger. It's just extraordinary. But I am stronger than I think I've been in, I don't know, forever. You know.
Wow.
And I used to hear that thing about 50 is the new 30 and 70 is the new 50. I don't know about the years, but I don't feel old. My father died at 50.
Really?
Died of a heart attack on the couch.
Wow.
Watching TV. And
wow, that's a way to go.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So I'm 24 years older and really feel good. I'm so thankful. And I've had, I guess, you know, I have a pacemaker. Look at the technology. So I don't walk away from technology when it can make things better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Your surgery.
But I embrace vitamins and I eat well
and you have fun. You've always been one that's, you know, you're a player. They're here, there. And laughter, there's a lot of laughter. I've been around you and your little group over the years, and there's always some fun going on there.
Well, good fun always. It's right. I know it. There's some beautiful people on Maui that have come from all over the world.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? I'm really happy to now have you in my new enlivened circle, and being here at Akaku and knowing that you're going to be on later in the day, I wouldn't be surprised that we're going to find 1 and 1 makes 4 and 5. And there'll be a lot of growth. You know, Akaku has done a job here for so many years, like an unheralded group of dedicated people. You know, I don't even remember when. Jay April has been here as the director. It seems like decades. You know, and we've even had people before that. We've all kinds of things. He's still fighting for public media. Really important time, and with the government pulling funds. You know, how important is it that we all support in every way public access television, so you can have a voice, so we can have a voice together that doesn't have a cloud, I say. A cloud of not knowing who the filters are, and no one's pulling our strings, I guess, except ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Some of these, I mean, this new takeover of the radio thing here locally, it's not that I have anything against Republican or Democrat. You know, I was green, but big deal. It's just a label someone put on a bunch of values and people that group together, right? But I'm just wondering, the idea of, I guess I brought up Republican for a reason. What was I trying to say? Do you remember? You don't.
You were leaning into.
See that? I forgot.
Maybe, you know, sometimes that's the blessing, right?
I like to call that's my moment of dementia. I don't know. I was so excited that I just...
You know, bringing it back to Akaku, okay?
Oh, that's where it was.
That's what you were talking about. We started our first television show here decades ago.
Yeah.
It was called The Doctor Is In. And that was way, way before the yoga was even seen as a way. And we had Blue Mountain, remember Blue Mountain? And with the art, and we had music with Celia Canty. We had all these aspects of healing. It was called The Doctor's In. And Heather Parsons, she goes by another name now, but Heather did the song, right? Yeah. That the doctor is in. The doctor is in you, right? And Akaku, they were like, okay, well, let's see what happens here. And there was definitely some,
free speech.
Yeah. And there were some people who were like, oh, no, you don't need to be talking about yoga, blah, blah, blah. But not from Akaku, but from the public. But now, look, there's yoga studios everywhere, right? So music therapy everywhere.
So I like to think that we are the runway that planes have taken off on. We're growing. At some point, we're growing a culture that is, and we're not even responsible for it, but it is, and we're part of it. This enlightening, this growing awareness of all the things you're talking, and that innate sense of self. Is this, I don't know, at least I've been here so long, I wonder if the world outside of this island is doing that. I don't really understand how to understand the group outside of here.
I think that it's not my kuleana to go outside. It's my job to be inside. And when you said enlightenment, I think you said that word enlightenment, or maybe I wanted to hear that word.
Yeah, that's the one.
But it's I-N, light. And your mitochondria is the thing in your cell. Every cell has mitochondria. And it has a stem cell that's copper peptide related, and it brings light. So as we all be the light that makes the world be light, lighter, right? Mm-hmm. This is the evolution of the earth, and the earth will make us do that. You know, she kind of spanks us every once in a while, right?
When you were talking about the light and the mitochondria, you've seen these light patches, these patches?
Yeah.
What's your thought on them? Have you had much experience with
I
them?
have had a lot of experience, actually. Yeah, and I was so skeptical because I am a scientist, but I'd had a neck injury, pretty serious neck injury, couldn't do surgery. Somebody said, just try it. And then I'd had oral surgery done, and when they did the surgery, they knocked some of my teeth out or loose. In a couple days, the pain was not gone, but it was tolerable. And my teeth went back in the socket within a week.
Great.
Yeah. And now that kind of therapy or that kind of technology is available just with our thoughts. We can just go there and be that, right?
Interesting. When you talk about mitochondria and bringing the light, that's what made me think of those patches that do it naturally. But I also hear what you're saying, which is it's us.
That is right.
There's so much more in us that we really, as we discover, we realize just what an incredible creature we all are, everything.
And trust it and then move through it and make it simple. It doesn't have to be really complicated, but it does take responsibility and it takes accountability. Am I going to buy those chips at Costco that are calling my name? Or am I going to go and get those greens, those organic greens? That we're like, but sometimes the chips win.
Sometimes the chips win, I know.
Sometimes the chips win. But I notice it the next day and don't work too good. But if I have my greens, and especially spirulina, blue-green algae, chlorella, and I'm just getting into blue spirulina, which all of my cancer patients are taking, and I'm seeing amazing results.
Blue means blue-green algae. Spirulina?
Blue spirulina.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's ancient. It's ancient.
Is it the one? I'm sure it was. It's like when you...
Right.
We've seen these packaged in different ways. Some of these things have been in our lives 30 years, and here they are coming out again.
I know. Isn't that interesting? Like that blue-green algae out of Oregon or someplace like that. It's probably the one.
I'm sure you remember Alam and Upcountry and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
It was big, and then it went down. I'm just checking our time.
How are we doing?
I can't see. I think it says that we have a few minutes. How much time we got?
I can't see it.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, here when the wall taps, I think it says, I'm getting up to look. It's either 3:31. I think it's 3:31. Yeah. Oh, we have 3.5 minutes. What's the most important thing that you'd like to give our audience besides today at 3 p.m., 88.5 FM, right here? Name of the show.
The Nature of Your Nature.
The Nature of Your Nature. On Mondays at 3 today. What? Today's a good show. I'd watch. And so thankful to have you come extra here today.
Thank you.
I know you took out of your schedule, the work schedule, to come here. Thank you.
You bet.
Well, I'm happy to say that we next week have someone who's a specialist on water.
Really?
Through the years, it's really funny. When I asked John Kinamaka if he knew anyone that might be interesting for the show, he mentioned Alicia, who has a lot of knowledge for us about water and also has a nonprofit. The great work by people like you and others. Wow. This is like our library that when the mainland discovers, they will be discovering all of this beautiful group of healers that really have worked together. Thank you for all the work that I don't even know how to describe it. Thank you for all the hard work that you did over there and you do over here and you've been doing for so long. And making me feel like I'm speaking to an old friend. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And also to someone who's been aligned with a positive path and a path of we can rather than dejected. No matter what's happening outside, we have our inside, and if we're still here, that vitality will set the world around us, right?
It does.
So here we are.
And always, stay with it. Stay with it. Remember when we were trying to stop the cane burning? we did it, right? And so keep doing what you're doing, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because you are valuable.
You got that right, you guys? Well, we have 1 minute and 10 seconds. If I was playing music, I'd play 1 minute and 10 seconds of peace, love, gentleness, self-discovery, self-realization, and boil it back. Love? What's my big one word? We don't have to boil it to one word. That's the beautiful part. Thank you guys for coming to this show. Dr. Valerie Simonsen.
Thank you.
The Nature of Your Nature, 3 o'clock today,
Woo-hoo!
every Monday.
Let's do it.
Thank you, thank you. You've been a great guest, and
Thank you. You were great.
I keep trying to fill the silence for you radio people. A little silence feels good. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to see you next week, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Let's now give it a shot with our music. Here we go. There it is, a neutral zone. Have a great week, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you, Valerie.
Aloha.